When you sit back on your couch and think about the best deep threats in recent NFL history, as we all do, guys like Deshaun Jackson, Tyreek Hill, or now even Jameson Williams might come to mind. Fast, twitchy receivers who can outrun single coverage and are just waiting for their quarterback to launch the ball. But believe it or not, Alec Pierce just had a historical season, being one of the most efficient deep threats of all time. And it all starts with this play. Bottom of your screen, the corner is playing outside leverage and Pierce wants to play with that. He sells the inside release right off the snap, and once Dolphins cornerback Rasul Douglas opens his hips, he goes back outside and wins the rep off the line of scrimmage. I mean, just look at the defensive back here. Completely turned. Embarrassing. From there, he continues to create separation. The safety's screaming to him, he tracks the ball, and just look at this catch. When the ball hits his hands, the safety is all over him. He adjusts his body as it was targeted towards his outside shoulder, the only spot that gave him a chance to catch it. I want to shout out Daniel Jones for this throw, and I talked about this throw in my Daniel Jones video from week 1. Absolutely perfect placement because if that was thrown in front of him, interception, incompletion, or a bad hit to Pierce. But throwing it to his outside shoulder and towards the sideline put it in a spot where only he could get it. With how talented he is adjusting his body, his catch radius, and grabbing these contested balls, he brings it down. Immediate separation off the line and tracking that ball down like a hawk. From the jump, Douglas wanted to force Pierce inside. So when he released inside off the snap, he bought it and Alex stole his lunch money, getting easy separation on the cut back out after faking a post-route release. Just an amazing rip from the fourth-year man. Prior to the combine, people had questions about his speed, but this catch against the Broncos shows he has the juice. Lined up against the king of penalties and Riley Moss in press coverage, he releases vertical and eases it to the outside within the first 10 yards of his route. And he has a small step at the vertex of his release against Moss, where Daniel Jones is already winding up to throw to him. As they get further down the field on this route, Pierce continues to create more separation with his speed. When Pierce is tracking this ball, look at Riley Moss. He's losing his juice and starting to tumble, and just tries to tackle Pierce at the catch point. Doesn't matter because he comes down with the catch as it seems he always does in these deep contested catch scenarios, as he leads the league with 7 contested catches on deep balls tied with Puka Nacua. He does such a great job of stacking defenders on his back hip, like he did with Moss here. That's what allows him to make these types of grabs. When the ball's thrown in front of him, he has the DBs stacked, and it's impossible for them to make a play on the ball, usually resulting in a catch or a DPI, and in this case both, because they have to play through his body. And this was a very long reception, as a lot of his are, so if you want to play as higher than his longest reception on every game next season, there's no better place to do it than on Underdog, because Underdog is the best and easiest place to play fantasy sports. All you have to do is pick higher or lower on 2 to 8 of your favorite players' projections, and you can win up to 5,000 times your money. And even better, when you sign up with code Fanatics, when you play your first $5, you get $75 in bonus credit and a gimme pick. They have promos every day like Profit Boost, discount tokens, other gimme picks, so it's very worth it to sign up with code Fanatics to get that $75 and your own gimme pick on top of the promos that they already have. One great way to stack a defensive back is by changing the angle of your 9 route and selling one way, which he does against the Titans. Pierce releases inside on this go and has the DB on the side of his hip, forcing him to the inside safety help on this cover 3 look. Try to make sure he does not cut quickly on a comeback, out, hitch, whatever, and he does a fine job at that for the first 17 yards. As Pierce is attacking vertical to get this defensive back to force the inside leverage, he veers his route to the outside and it stacks the defensive back on his back hip, creating that advantage that he wants, and that is when DJ starts to wind up. As he's tracking the ball downfield, he starts to box out the defender who stood no chance. Since Pierce has a 2-inch 20-pound advantage on him, in pure Steven Adams fashion, he boxes him out completely so that Pierce was the only one who could catch this ball. The defensive back was behind him. He would have to play through his body to make a play, being a penalty. Pure dominance on a go route, starting with the deceptive inside release, selling the inside breaking route, then stacking him on his hip, which made this play possible, and of course, Pierce brings the ball down. Alec is a free agent this offseason, and trust me, he's gonna get a bag. You got a deep threat like that, who just had 1,000 yards on the fewest catches, 47, since Deshaun Jackson in 2010. He's so valuable to any offense. Any team could use his services, but there are a few that come to mind immediately outside of the Colts re-signing him. The Patriots, Titans, Steelers, Ravens, and Commanders. 4 of the 5 teams have their QB to build around for the future, just in need of more support on the outside. I think he'd fit best on the Commanders, Titans, and Patriots. All 3 of those teams have very young quarterbacks who can throw the deep ball, some at a historic rate, and adding a guy who can create space downfield, catch contested balls, and be a great safe target for the young quarterback will help their development so much. Being the deep threat that he is, adding him to an offense with all these solid or great deep passers, they will love to hear these numbers. On 20-plus yard targets since 2024, he has 24 catches, which is tied for 3rd, 968 yards, which is 1st, and the next best is 850. His 8 touchdowns, which is tied for 2nd, 11 contested catches, which is also tied for 2nd, and a 96.6 PFF grade, which is 3rd. He's the type of guy who makes those tough, clutch catches when your offense needs it most. Alec would probably cost between 18 and 22 million per year. Although I've talked about how good he is down the field, he's not just a deep threat. Nobody's paying that much money just for a guy who can run goes and posts. He has refined his game since coming into the league and has been one of the best receivers on intermediate routes. In 2025, he was 5th in PFF grade for intermediate routes with a 99.0 grade. While he may not have the most crispy routes, he always knows how to adjust to make the catch, and this play against the Chargers shows that. To be honest, before I show it, it's not a good route. Could I have run it better? No. But he has built so much trust with his quarterbacks because of his size, his physicality, and his catch radius that they will throw this ball. To be honest, this is 50% of Daniel Jones' clip and 50% Pierce. They're in a 10 from their own 44. Pierce is going to run a curl route, and the DB is all over him when he breaks. But he uses his right arm to hold him back legally, again kind of boxing out the defender. And Daniel trusts him enough to throw the ball to him despite Benjamin St-Juste being draped all over him. There's enough space for DJ to throw to the outside of Pierce's body, and he knows he will come down with this catch, as he's top 10 in drop percentage at 2.1%. Plays like this are why a team will throw the Brinks truck at him. Your QB knows he can rely on him. He can make tough catches even when he doesn't create separation with his route, because of his physicality and his catch radius. You want a young quarterback to have that type of guy. Now, Indy for sure can bring him back, but given the state of this franchise after the Sauce Gardner trade, the Daniel Jones Achilles injury, they may want to allocate money elsewhere when they have 2 solid receivers and a first-round tight end on the roster, with one of those receivers, Michael Pittman, already on his second contract. It may not make the most sense to bring him back given their other needs. Jane Daniels, Drake May, and Cam Ward would love to have a guy like this to throw to. He would represent a higher volume and better version of what Matt Collins is for Drake May this season. To clarify, this is for any of these quarterbacks. I was just giving an example. If I haven't sold you on Pierce yet, let me have him sell himself and a Chargers defensive back for you. This play is all about selling the vertical route with his speed. Off the release, he's running straight at cornerback Cam Hart, making him turn his hips to force him inside of the safety help, assuming he's running a go, as he does a lot. And as he gets him to think that he's running vertically, he cuts to the outside of the defender, kind of in his blind spot, right behind him, and every cornerback in the league respects his speed and his deep threat ability. So by the time Pierce gets to his break, the defensive back was sold and is ready to sprint downfield to stay with him. Since he isn't looking at him, he thinks that's the route. Alex slows down, breaks out for the comeback, ball's waiting for him, first down Indy. He's special because he has the ability to sell these routes. Not every player is going to make a defensive back fully turn their hips upfield ready to beat him in the race to the end zone because they don't have 4.3 or 4.4 speed, so their spec hasn't been earned. But for Pierce, he can do this any time. Every time he starts sprinting downfield with a vertical release, as the corner and as the deep safety, you have to respect the go ball, giving him the opportunity to step on your toes, get in a blind spot, and cut back for comebacks, outs, curls, whatever route, and it will result in a first down more times than not. Alec Pierce is not the best receiver in this free agency class. That belongs to George Pickens. But if you want a guy that you can rely on to make contested grabs, go down the field and create explosive plays, and flip the field for your offense, or hell, even catch double-teamed balls as we saw against the Falcons, you sign Pierce to $20 million a year. He's a reliable target for any quarterback who can catch any ball, no matter how physical the defensive back is or how good the coverage is. He can make a play with his sticky hands and big body. The reason why I gave those teams earlier, the Titans, Commanders, and Patriots, is because they all have quarterbacks on rookie deals. All 3 of these teams have a ton of cap space and can use this $20 million to sign Pierce, and it really wouldn't affect them. Now, the Titans have $105 million, so this wouldn't really hurt them when they have a lot of other needs they have to get after too. The Commanders have $79 million, so same thing there. As for the Patriots, they only have about $45 or $47 million, so it really depends on how much they value having this type of outside receiver to help Drake May, given the fact that Kayshon Boutte and others have done well for him this year. But somebody is going to get Pierce this offseason, and I know that their quarterback will thank them for eternity.